Alberto CASTELVECCHI is a professor of public communications in Rome. He joins us now from there. Alberto, thank you for taking the time to speak to us. What is it like in Rome at the moment? What does a city or a country, for that matter, in lockdown feel like when we're living it?
Well, Rome is quite big, and so you immediately perceive the immense spaces around the Colosseum and St. Peter's Square, the magnificent St. Peter's Square, or the Circus, the Maximum Circus, many, many monumental areas, which we saw usually with thousands and thousands of tourists flowing, now are almost desert. There are still a few tourists around, and many people who have to rush to their job places because, this blockade is not concerning people who have a job to do or who have a serious reason to move. But for the rest, I must tell you, the impression is quite frantic. It's not very good.
This is such an unprecedented move that was put forth by the Italian Prime Minister Giuseppe Conte. Obviously, the economy, which has already been suffering, is going to take a hit. Do we have any idea yet of what kind of long-term effect this might have on Italy's economy?
Well, it was already calculated more than 1 month ago by the Economist Intelligence Unit in Great Britain that a slope in 2% in China's GDP could badly affect Europe. Well, when we're talking about Europe, you know that Italy's growth is very low. Italy is one of the last countries in terms of growth. It was around 0.7, 0.8, no more. So if the GDP will be affected by 1 or 2 percentage points, we will fall into recession. This is almost sure. What is not sure still is what exceptional measures will have to be taken. But for sure, we will have to take some, because I think that the situation will be very bad for at least 5 or 6 months ahead.
And Alberto, just within the country itself, 9,000 cases of the coronavirus. Obviously, this is a huge weight on the medical field. How have medical professionals been responding, and are there enough of them to help?
Well, this was the main preoccupation why Giuseppe Conte's government decided for this national blockade, because until now, our National Health Service has very good structures, and the personnel is highly qualified. I'm not talking only about the virologists, but also the general doctors and the nurseries, and the ventilation machines, and everything is in perfect shape. But if the number of people infected rises dramatically, then we will have to involve the military or to ask for help for other European countries. So my recommendation is, for example, to other European countries, do not undervalue the situation in Italy, because Italy is not an isolated case. This could happen also in other countries. Even if the National Health Service is very good, like, for example, in France or in Germany, serious numbers include a serious damage and very serious measures.
Alberto, thank you for that. Alberto CASTELVECCHI, they're speaking to us from Rome.